And welcome back to the show. Vision Services for the Blind and Visually Impaired is a not-for-profit rehabilitation and social service organization. Now, they aim to develop and implement individualized programs assisting people who are blind and visually impaired of all ages to lead independent and active lives, educating the public to understand the capabilities and needs of people who are blind as well as visually impaired. Joining me now on the show to share a little bit more and give us some details is the Executive Director and CEO of Vision Services for the Blind and Visually Impaired, Nancy D. Miller. And Nancy, glad to have you with us.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, the work that you do is integral. And so talk to us about really how you're actually bridging that gap, particularly for those who are visually impaired and blind through the services that you offer.
So we're celebrating our 95th anniversary. We have been providing training for people to learn to be as independent as possible. That training is given in the home and also in the community. And along with the training that are provided by certified professionals, we also provide counseling to help people adjust to their vision loss and really focus on what they are able to do instead of focusing on what they can't do. Part of our training is to teach people with vision loss alternate methods by using non-visual techniques. So everything from using talking watches and talking clocks, learning the technology and software that will enable them to hear rather than read what's on the page or the internet or the website that they're looking at, and also how to use magnification. We find that so many people lose their vision later in life. And so it's important for them to understand what accessibility features come right off the shelf on their smartphone or using Alexa or Echo or any of the devices that they might use at home. We provide services free of charge. There is no billing of the participant, no billing of insurance. We're funded primarily through the New York State Commission for the Blind, in partnership with them on several contracts and grants, but we also depend on the general public for individual donors and donations, as well as volunteers to help us in helping people not only stay independent, but also be work ready and find paid employment in all different jobs and sectors. Everything from being in education, a teacher aide or a teacher, a social work assistant, a benefits counselor, a social worker. We even had a young man graduate as an HVAC technician. It wouldn't have been my choice, but for some reason he loved the idea of heating and air conditioning. And even though he was blind, he got one of the highest grades in the training course and became certified. So he's now eligible to start his apprenticeship. So our goal is to help people see all the possibilities. We serve all of New York City, but many of the people that we serve live in the Bronx. We're particularly focused on engaging with people of low income and also people of color and people who speak languages other than English, because that's where the prevalence rate of blindness is much higher. So that we know that we have to do outreach in order to let people know about our free services and that we are there to help and assist anybody of any age with vision loss.
Give me a little bit about self-esteem and morale. When you have somebody who's accustomed to being able to see, now moving to the place where they become visually impaired and or lose their sight, one of the common things that happens is this emotional, psychological withdrawal, and sometimes these issues that actually come because, to a sense, you're losing your control. And I know that your organization does a lot in the area of counseling and really helping people to transition when they've had these challenges.
Yeah, unfortunately, when people first start losing vision, they often self isolate. They stay at home, they often get depressed, they get embarrassed because they don't want people to think that they've lost their vision. So, part of the work that we do is to draw the person out, to let them know that losing your vision is not the end of the world, that there are things that you can continue to do, but you just do it differently. We have many of our staff, over 30% of our staff are blind themselves, and they become role models for the participants that we have that, yes, you can be blind and work. Yes, you can be older and blind and work. We run an older adult center on 23rd Street in Manhattan, and many Bronx residents come to that center. Our dance instructor is deaf and blind. She is a paid dance instructor. And people say, how can she do it? We say, come and see, come and meet her, come and be a part of the class. It's done through verbal narration, it's done through adaptations and accommodations. Our technology instructors are blind. So being able to teach somebody who's blind how to use a computer is easy for them because they're doing it themselves. What they're capable of if they just learn through training to do it differently. We also really try to work with the family. If we can get the family to understand that blindness does not mean you have to do everything for the individual, that they can learn how to do things themselves, that goes a long way to helping that person regain that confidence, regain that self-esteem, regain that sense of control that they had when they were fully sighted. And we find that many of the people that we work with not only go back to the things that they were doing before, but do even more than what they were doing as a sighted person. Many of our older adult participants are the primary homemaker. They're the ones cooking the Thanksgiving or the Christmas dinner. They're the ones who are cleaning the house. They're the ones who are babysitting for the grandchildren. And people always say, oh my God, how can you do it? And the reality is they can do anything as long as they have the skills and the techniques to do it safely.
Yeah. Well, Nancy, I know in a few minutes we're getting ready to meet some more of your staff and the great work that you guys do at Vision Services. I want to thank you for coming and giving us a little bit of an intro. Great work that you're doing and continue to make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we rely so much on volunteers. Our Bronx and Westchester Community Advisory Board is always looking for new members to help get the word out about our free service and also help in our programs. So, please let them call us or contact us at info@visionsvcb.org or call us at 212-625-1616. Thanks so much for the opportunity.
Nancy, thank you so much. You gave the information. I don't have to give it. You just gave it right there. Thank you. And I want our guests to stay with us. Well, I should say the viewers to stay with us because guess what? We do have more show coming up after the break. We'll introduce you to some very special workers at Nancy's organization.